What's up, guys? Lorenzo again. I wanted to go over my coming soon list. So I've got a few figures in the pipeline that I've pre-ordered, and I just wanted to go over those real quick so you know what unboxing and review videos you can expect to see in my lineup in the next few months, up to a year and 2 months from now, actually. With I think the longest one out is Neo, and that's not till 2019. So, yeah, we'll keep these videos pumping out for a while. But let's go over that list of figures one by one. So the first one here on the list is the Hot Toys Marty McFly, and it's actually on its way as we speak. So the unboxing and review on that's going to be in the next few days or so. And I've been looking forward to this figure for a while. I have to admit, I was debating whether or not to buy it in the first place, though, because I do have the Marty McFly from Back to the Future 1, and I question whether I really needed to. But I realized that the Marty McFly from Back to the Future 2 is actually my favorite version. So although it's nice to have the first version standing out of the DeLorean that I have, this one would be great as a standalone, especially considering he's got some pretty awesome accessories that come with it, like the Nike box for the shoes and the Pepsi bottle that was famous from the movie as well. And right on the coattails of that figure is the Doc Emmett Brown, and that should go great right next to Marty McFly on display. I do have a custom Doc Brown from the first film, the version where he is in his radioactive suit at the beginning and at the end of the film. It's pretty good, but the head sculpt from Hot Toys, obviously much better. I kind of do wish they did put hair on it. There's just like with the Ripley from the latest release of the Alien figure. I wish they had done the same with her as well. We're kind of getting past sculpted hair at this point. They're doing good enough job on stitching the hair now that they don't need to rely on sculpts, and it's almost detracting from the quality of the figure now. It's like they just fell short of putting an all-out effort into it once they start sculpting the hair instead of stitching it in. And especially with Doc Brown, because he had such crazy white hair, it would have looked pretty good. And my custom Doc does have that. So I might end up, though, as you may notice sometimes with these Hot Toys figures, is once they're out for a short time, Asia goes ahead and they copy the Hot Toys heads and end up selling them as standalone on eBay for anywhere between like $20 and $50. So I imagine a short time after the release of Doc Brown, there'll be these heads popping up on the internet of Doc, and I could switch out the custom head that I have on the Series 1 with this Hot Toys version. This next one's from Big Chief Studios. They've been at sort of up-and-coming infant to the figure world lately. They are out of Great Britain. It seems like most of their figures, if not all of them, are British-themed TV shows, movies, so it's no wonder that they came out with a 007 series. I do have a custom James Bond right now, and typically when I find out that some of the big manufacturers are coming out with their own figures of the ones that I have, like James Brown, I typically rush on eBay and sell it so that I can use the proceeds to buy the manufactured figure. I would have done the same with this James Bond that I have already, but the sculpt on it is so outstanding on this custom figure that I'm worried that once this Big Chief Studios version comes in and I get it, that it's not going to be up to par with the one that I already have. So I'm holding on to it, and I'll probably end up, when it comes in, which is first quarter, so within a short period of time, I should be getting the James Bond figure. I'll probably do a side-by-side comparison just to give you an idea of what a good custom one looks like and what theirs came out to be. And I have a feeling I'm going to end up holding on to at least the head sculpt of the custom figure. But this is a great one that's coming out. This one is Michonne from Walking Dead. This is being put out by 3-0, also first quarter, so it should be coming out soon. Now, they also produced, I guess, I remember I watched the show religiously, but I can't recall. I think it was her brothers that she ended up killing, and then she cut their arms off and had them on chains and was sort of carrying them around as protection as she wandered the forest for a while. So they came out with those guys a while back, and I just thought it was kind of weird because technically they're an accessory to Michonne. So you kind of had to have a custom Michonne to go with them, otherwise they just didn't make sense really standing on their own in the case. Well, now they came out with Michonne, and it looks very good, and I have it on pre-order. This one's also first quarter, so it should be coming out shortly, as I said. This next one is also 3-0. Agent Mulder, Fox Mulder from the X-Files. I did have the Sideshow version, along with all the rest of the Sideshow X-Files figures. Some of them are okay. You have like Agent Doggett, looks terrible. You have the Smoking Man, which I think looks the best out of all of them. I already got rid of my other Fox Mulder from Sideshow because I hated it. Even a custom head didn't make it look good enough. This figure, though, looks great. It's going to go great in my custom Mulder's office that I made a while back that fits in a Detolf shelf, and I'll show that in an upcoming video as well. It's my pride and joy out of my entire collection. But this figure is also first quarter, so it should be coming out shortly. This next one's also Walking Dead. It is Negan, complete with Lucille, with the barbed wire wrapped bat. And this one's also first quarter. 3-0 is really on the ball this year. They're coming out with quite a few nice figures in a short period of time. And Negan is no exception. He's going to go great right next to my other Walking Dead figures. And yeah, great head sculpt. There's a few floating around out there right now that are customs, and they do a pretty decent job, but this one is just really... Oh boy. I remember when they had this one on display at the last Comic-Con, and it really blew people's socks off. This is the Blitz Way Silence of the Lambs cannibal figure. Now, there are two versions. I ordered the one you see pictured with his I guess we call it a chair or something, and a straight jacket. The other one is sort of just a regular prison outfit. And I had been eyeballing one of these chairs because there's a guy, I believe he's out of the Philippines. He does some really nice work, and he sells his stuff on eBay. And a lot of it's like real wood and metal, including this chair. And he just charges a lot of money. I mean, I understand you put a lot of time into these things, but he was charging like $600 for this chair. And then Blitz Way came along, and not only do you get the chair, but you get the figure. And I think it came out to about $240 or something like that. Most of these figures are around $220 to $280 now. So this one is really nice. I've said it before. Blitz Way does some really great work. They're my top 1 out of 5. I did my top 5 list recently, and this was number 1. They put a ton of quality into their figures, and this one is no exception. Good job, Blitz. All right, now we're getting into quarter 2 of this year, and this is the 3-0 Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. I had the Sideshow version for the longest time, and like most of the Sideshow horror figures, they were lacking. Back when they came out, they were state of the art, I guess you could say. But now that we've gotten a lot more detail coming out in some of these figure lines, Sideshow's been redoing them. They redid the Friday the 13th Voorhees. They redid Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. And for some reason, I don't know if they did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think they did redo the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I compared it to the one from 3-0, and 3-0's is just top notch. And I sold my Sideshow one, and I'm looking forward to this one. Once again, that is second. Also, second quarter, it is Star Aces Vince and Jules from Pulp Fiction. They got the license directly from Miramax, and these figures are very nice. I think there's 2 other versions of these guys that have popped up in mass production recently, and they don't meet the standard. Gangster Kingdom came out with 2, as a matter of fact, that you could tell they're inspired by Pulp Fiction. Just like if you look at the Gangster Kingdom line, they're inspired by a famous movie character or a famous action character, and they have very, I guess, pronounced features, so they don't look realistic. They're cartoonish. I don't like that at all. However, the bodies and the accessories that come with the Gangster's Kingdom figures are outstanding, and their version of the 2 Pulp Fiction guys are no exception. So I've actually ordered that set just to be able to keep the accessories, and I'll probably end up reselling the figures themselves. But I am excited about these 2 figures. They come with a nice line of accessories, although the briefcase, they could have gone the extra step and put an LED in there so that when you open the briefcase, it glows. I know there's some customizers out there that have made such briefcases for the 12-inch figures, and they should have done that with this set. But otherwise, it's a great set. This next one is also from 3-0, also quarter 2, and that is the Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, or more currently from Better Call Saul. Great figure. I already have the Jesse Pinkman. It's a custom job. I have a Walter White, which is probably my best likeness out of all my custom figures. The head sculpt on this one, the paint job is really outstanding. I mean, it looks lifelike. And I also have a custom Mike. I hopefully will get a few more custom Breaking Bad characters, but this one is going to be great. Okay, so this one is kind of interesting. This is the Jack Burton Big Trouble from Little China, cult classic from the 80s, from Sideshow Toys. Now, there hasn't been a lot of hype surrounding this figure, and I have a belief that the main reason for that is because Sideshow themselves didn't generate a lot of interest in it. It's not really advertised on their website. I can't even remember how I came across it. I think it was a link through a blog on Sideshow Freaks. I ended up pre-ordering this figure. It's supposed to come out in either June or July, and it's advertised on Sideshow's website as a Sideshow exclusive. So it also comes with that little monster thing that floated around with all the eyeballs on it. Pretty cool figure, but I just don't see why they didn't blast it out there, because I think a lot more people would have jumped on board with it. Everybody's buzzing about this one right now. It is the Hot Toys Neo, due out in it's quite a range actually, between January and March of 19. I imagine one of the reasons why they gave that large estimate is not only because it's so far out, but because lately it seems that even the big names aren't able to stay on track with their estimated release times. But this figure is gorgeous. We had a teaser a few months ago that they picked up the license for Matrix. It seems fitting that Neo be the first figure. I hope the first in a line of figures, followed by Trinity and Morpheus, maybe even more, like the 2 twin brothers, the albino brothers from the second movie, that kind of freak me out and fascinate me at the same time. But this is a great figure, and it comes with a nice set of accessories. They didn't skimp on the number of weapons they included. As you remember from the scene in the film, he kind of just blasted away, went through rounds on a few different weapons. And the grand finale, Blitz Way's Ecto-1, to go with their recently released set of Ghostbusters figures. This one's also due out sometime between January and March of 19. I can't contain my anticipation of this one. Really, Blitz Way is known for their attention to every detail. They didn't fall short here. I think they're trying to compete with Hot Toys DeLorean, and I got to tell you, if Blitz Way had been given the bill on creating the DeLorean, I think they would have carried it a little bit better than Hot Toys did. There's just a few things on the Hot Toys DeLorean, and maybe I could go into it at some point in a video all its own about how it fell short, but they spared no expense on this Ecto-1, complete with sound effects and lights. and it's just gonna, I don't even know where I'm gonna be putting it, and it's gonna go down as the second most expensive item in my collection next to the American Psycho living room diorama. But I don't care. I need to have it, and my only regret is that I have to wait so long to see it in front of me. But I'll be doing an unboxing and review of that. It'll probably be a half hour, if not 45 minutes long, considering there's so much going on there. And that finishes off my list of upcoming figures. There'll be sure to be more on the list, but these are the ones that I'll be doing. Once again, I'll be doing unboxing and reviews on over the next few months. Thanks for tuning in.